Joining us now from Beirut is NBC News international correspondent Matt Bradley. Also with us is Ambassador Alon Pincus, former Israeli Consul General in New York. Matt, what do we know about these special operations Israel is conducting right now? And there was a difference between the bombing that it just carried out in Beirut and the one that killed the Hezbollah leader.
That's right. So we're hearing now from the Israelis saying that they've been conducting ground operations in southern Lebanon, but they were specific. They were very careful to say that these are limited ground operations. They're coming and going, it sounds like, and they don't necessarily mean that there's about to be a ground invasion. However, we're also hearing we heard from Yoav Gallant, he's the defense minister of Israel, just in the past couple of hours, that the war is about to enter a new phase here in Lebanon. And this comes after we've heard reporting from the Washington Post and CBS News saying that Israeli officials have told Washington that a ground invasion could be imminent. Now, NBC News has not yet backed that up, but it sounds as though, and I hate to make predictions, especially about the Middle East. I've told you this before, Jose, but it sounds as though all indicators are pointing to the potential for a ground invasion at any moment. That's what we've been hearing, that this is imminent. And of course, we heard it, like I just said, from Yoav Gallant himself, that we're about to enter a new phase. So preparations are being made. It looks as though Israel is kind of tenderizing the ground. They've not only been doing what they've been doing for the past 2 weeks, which is shooting down top Hezbollah officials and major installations that belong to Hezbollah. Now it looks as though they've expanded their attacks and are now trying to attack leaders of other groups like Hamas. We had confirmation from Hamas that overnight one of their leaders was killed. And also this left-wing group called the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, which has been around for generations, but our audience probably doesn't know much about. They're not really major players and haven't been a household name for quite a long time. Still, 3 of their leaders were killed here in Beirut by an Israeli drone strike, or what is believed to be a drone strike. And that was actually the first attack by the Israelis into central Beirut since 2006, which also happens to be the last time the Israelis launched a ground incursion into Lebanon. So all of these indicators taken together, and again, I don't like to make predictions because I always end up being wrong, but this does look as though we're starting to see Israel preparing for some sort of ground incursion that could be, they could see as some sort of final swipe at Hezbollah as they've been picking off their leadership for much of the past 2 weeks.
Matt Bradley in Beirut for us. Thank you very much. So, Ambassador, what's your read of the situation right now as Israel clearly is beginning preparations for something, very probable a ground operation in Lebanon?
Well, the question is, how do you define a ground operation and how do you define limited? If the idea, to borrow from the Vietnam War tactics, a search and destroy mission, which is what basically we're seeing today, that's understandable, which means that there is a swath, let's say it's 10, 15 kilometers long north of the Israeli border, and there are Hezbollah strongholds over there, Hezbollah military concentrations, small, but they do fire mortar, they do fire rockets into northern Israel, and that needs to be dealt with. Now, the question is, Jose, whether or not this is going to be a search and destroy, or is Israel really planning on a ground operation that includes, in terms of duration and use of power, carving out a security zone? Now, I fail to see the benefits of that. I fail to see the advantages of that because on paper and in planning, these limited operations seem magnificently efficient. But when push comes to shove and you start invading, even if you call it an incursion and even if you define it as limited, you end up in a sitting duck kind of situation. So I truly hope that there won't be a need for a big-scale ground operation. But like your correspondent in Lebanon, Matt, said, you never know.
And Ambassador, if you would, just give us a little bit of a better idea from your perspective on what Hezbollah is. And we've been hearing for so long that it has 130,000 men in arms and that they have more than 100,000 missiles, and they're certainly well-financed by Iran. Yet in these last couple of weeks, when they first started getting, exploding bombs in Iran for a Hamas leader, but for Hezbollah leaders, and then the pagers and the walkie-talkies, and then now the bombing. There hasn't been a massive response by Hezbollah. They have no doubt thrown missiles into Israel. But how would you describe Hezbollah today?
Well, that's a great question, Jose, and I don't think anyone has a definitive answer. Let me give you two different perspectives in short. One is that it was always a paper tiger. If you recall, if our viewers recall, there was this myth about the Red Army, the Soviet Red Army, and once the wall fell down and the Soviet Union disintegrated, everyone found out that it was all rotting, that it was all, make-believe, that it was far from being the modern, overbearing military machine that people thought. It was all rusty. So maybe that's the case here. That they do have 100,000 fighters and they do have 100,000 rockets and missiles, but it's not exactly a modern fighting force. That's one way of looking at it. The other is that the danger is still there, that taking out, assassinating Hassan Nasrallah, the Secretary General for the last 32 years, and indeed the upper echelon of Hezbollah does not seriously or did not seriously affect their formidable missile launching capability. And they still have that capability, and they still are probably a state within it. Well, they are a state within a state, but probably or arguably the strongest paramilitary, non-state military force in the world, which is why this is an ongoing thing. But there's no question about it that Hezbollah suffered a major strategic blow with the elimination of Mr. Nasrallah and the top echelon, that top layer of military and political commanders. There's also another issue which is related to what you just asked, Jose, and that is, to what extent would Iran really go to stand by Hezbollah? Because as you know, the nature of the beast is as follows. The proxies fight for me. I fight for the proxies. So I don't know what Iran is going to do. So far, they've shown a lot of restraint, to be fair.
Ambassador Alon Pinkas, it's always a pleasure. I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Jose. Always.